Hey everybody, I got asked to do a stretch class and that's what this is. So it's going to be 20 minutes long and it's basically like I run the Friday stretch class, the one that we have at around 9:50. This one's just a little shorter and see what you think. I'll take care of housekeeping. You should always consult with your physician before engaging in any physical activity program. By participating in this online exercise class, you assume all dangers, hazards, risks of such participation. The exercises I demonstrate can be physically demanding, so if you're unable to safely perform, please modify for your own safety or choose another set of exercises. And let's get started. Glasses off, right? This class is done from a chair or a stool, so you will want to find that. I'm going to make sure I'm in a good position here. I'm also keeping track of time because most of the stretches we hold will be held between 20 and 30 seconds. We'll say roughly 25 seconds. The couple things held a little differently. So if it's your first time, like I said, this is run very similarly to the Friday stretch class, and hopefully you want to take it throughout the week. We're going to start by getting our breath back to a place where we take those nice full breaths both in and out. And I'm going to ask you to count the length of your inhalation and the length of your exhalation so that you can start to know your own numbers and kind of remind yourself of what those are from class to class as well. We'll start here with 3 deep breaths. Draw the breath in through the nose. Exhale as if you're blowing out birthday candles. Try that again, 2 more breaths like that. Counting the inhale and the exhale. Going for 1 more. Try to just go back to that as we're in the stretches. It'll keep your mind occupied. My mind tends to wander, so it helps me stay with the stretch. Let's check on our alignment. We want our crown of the head, our top knot up to the ceiling, long length through the spine. Take a moment and relax your eyes, relax your jaw. Your chin is parallel to the floor. The shoulders are down away from your ears. You might feel a little pinch between your shoulder blades behind you, and it's lifting your chest up in front, long through the trunk. And then I've got this wide stance here because our first stretch is going to be a 2-minute forward fold. I'll keep my eye on the time so you can just enjoy that forward fold. Let's take this forward fold and start here in about, we'll check it on here right now. Tipping the crown of your head forward. I often say stack things up. This time we're taking them down 1 vertebrae at a time. The stance here is wide, so we can take our trunk forward in a fold that's comfortable. Now, if you find you've got a little relief in a certain spot, feel free to pause and hold it. We have 2 minutes, so we have plenty of time. Simply lowering yourself, arms are hanging in front of you toward the front and almost adding a little extra weight to bring you forward and open the spaces between the vertebrae. We reached our first minute, so we have 60 seconds left. And sometimes this is just a nice place to hold that stretch and continue to remain in the forward fold. Sometimes people like to stack themselves back up. To make sure you can hear me, I'm going to slowly take myself back up, but feel free to use the time the way you feel you need to. We have about 20 seconds. Continue to open spaces through the spine, letting everything get a little break. And if you're coming back up tall, hopefully you feel like you've got space between the vertebrae that you didn't have before. And that finishes our first 2 minutes. Going on to one of the most probably beneficial stretches is the hip flexor. And that's why it's done on the chair here to get a big impact. What I'm gonna do here is bring one cheek on the chair and one cheek is off. And then support myself and wait with the leg behind. And it's up on the toe back here. In doing just this simple position, I've opened up the front of my hip, the hip flexor right here. This might be a place to start. And if you haven't done this stretch before, this might be enough. We'll add to it by squeezing our glute, our tush right here, that cheek, and that's gonna open the front of the hip flexor even more. Gets a little brighter. A third level would be adding a raised arm, matching the same leg, same side of the body. And then I've got my hand on the seat of the chair. I'm just gonna simply take myself into a side bend toward the back of the chair. Holding here, find that inhalation, counting it, count your exhale. When you're ready for your next inhale, lift your torso as you breathe in, coming up tall, and then exhale, relaxing that arm. We're still open here on the front of the hip. And to maintain as much openness as we can, we'll just think about slowly pivoting on the chair to take ourselves to the other side. So pivot. And then reposition, again with that one cheek on, one cheek off. The leg is draped toward the floor here. The weight of the leg is opening the hip. I'm gonna squeeze the glute here and then match with the same arm. Get a nice full body stretch. And then we're going to lean over. I'm watching the clock for us, a few more seconds. When you're ready to inhale again, lift and let the arm float down. Again, just think of a pivot on the center of the chair, come back forward. Roll your shoulders out. That one can be considered a nice full body. We have a visitor. Yeah. Go lay down. Go lay down. Go lay down. Let's go ahead and get the back of the leg. Lay down. Coming up tall again from our hips. And I've got my leg extended out in front. Toes are up to the ceiling. It's a nice long leg out front here, but this one's bent. And we're gonna start with an inhale, exhale, and hinge forward. Add the upper body if you like. There's a long arm here out in front. But I'm really looking for stretch through the back of the leg, from the glute all the way down your calf. Again, inhale, counting your inhale, counting your exhale. Use your breath, inhale and pick your torso up. And bring that foot back underneath you. We'll go to the other side. So reaching out long, making sure those toes, the foot is flexed and the toes are up toward the ceiling. Inhale, exhale, hinging over, reaching long. Counting your breath. So about 20 seconds, 25-second holds. When you're ready to take that next breath in, do so and lift your torso and bring everything back. How about we move on to the figure 4, we call this next one, and it's going to open up around the hips, the back of the hips, the glutes. The options here, you sit a little bit more forward in your chair, and basically you're crossing the long leg with a bent leg from the other side, either crossing down in the front of the shin, or if this leg is bent, you can bring this other leg up on top. I'm going to go there. Check and make sure you have a right angle made here with the foot and shin. And then as you lift your torso, just this position itself can open up through the side of the hip and be enough. If you want to add a little more, go ahead and inhale. And then as you exhale, just hinge, come a little closer toward your legs. Holding where you feel the stretch. Holding there and counting that breath coming in. And the exhale. On your next inhale, come back, sit up tall. And then exhale and move the feet and leg, foot and leg. Roll your shoulders between. It's easy to build tension when you are stretching, so we'll be conscious of trapping any of that tension up here. Let's take the other leg up and over. Again, you have options, and one side might need something different than the other side. Stay aware of what each side needs. Flex here, so the foot is flexed, you have a right angle. Inhale, exhale, hinge forward. Feeling that stretch come from the lower center spine, maybe around the glute, around the hip. When you're ready to inhale, do so and lift your torso with it. Exhale as you make the transition, feet back to the floor. And then again, check on that tension in the shoulders. Let's work on a bit of a spinal twist. This can be done on the floor, and it's great on the floor, but if we're in a confined space, and want to use this, or if you prefer to not be on the floor, we can do it from the chair. We're going to break it into 3 parts. So opposite hand meets opposite thigh, and that's my first support here, and it's going to help me with this twist. The second hand over here is going to reach to the back of the chair, and that's my other designated point to help. We are going to turn as we exhale each time. So think of it as inhale, as you exhale, turning a third of the way. Let's inhale again. Exhale and turn another third. Whatever that range is for you. And then we're gonna add a third here. Inhale, exhale. Now hold for that deeper breath, counting the length of your inhalation and your exhalation. And when you're ready for your next deep breath in, inhale, and exhale, let yourself unwind and come back facing forward. We'll balance this out by doing the other side. So opposite hand, opposite thigh. This hand is supporting and reaching to the back seat of the chair. Inhale, and a third of this turn as you exhale. Again, inhale, a third or just a little more. So it'll be our final inhale, exhale. Remain in this spinal twist, and let's work toward a long inhale. Exhale, still counting. Coming out of this, we'll inhale first. And as we exhale, let ourselves unwind very slowly, coming back to the front. How is the counting going? It's something to focus on, and you can start to notice, do the numbers match? Is the exhale longer than the inhale, which is pretty common, but it gives you that number to think about and work towards. You'll notice if your breaths are getting shorter and you need to lengthen them out. Moving up into other places of the body, let's start here with a hug. We're gonna wrap those arms right around, taking a hold of your shoulders on either side. And now I'm gonna bring my chin closer to my chest, and I'm thinking about putting space between the shoulder blades behind me, and wrapping the arms around, give me something to hold on to, and almost helps with that stretch. So we'll tuck the chin, and let's hold here for 2 long breaths. Again, counting your length of inhale and exhale. Let's get ready to inhale. And then on the exhale, release the arms and let them float. We'll do an added shoulder stretch here, taking one arm along and across, catching it here. Inhale. As you exhale, can you see if you can pull that arm in closer to your chest? Holding here. Another inhale. And exhale. Release that arm, let it come back to your side. We'll go to the other side. So it's a long, extended arm, catching it. And now you've got a way to pull that arm in closer. Start by taking the inhale. And as you exhale, can you draw that arm in a little closer? Holding for another breath. Inhale. And letting those arms travel back to your side. Biceps and triceps. I'm going to come a little closer to the camera. We're going to extend the arm out nice and long in front. I'm going to add a little bit of flexion to the wrist, just gentle pressure coming to all the fingers here. And then we're going to break that down a bit by adding a little bit of attention here to the pinky. And move to the two middle fingers. You could take a breath with each of these different positions. Our last one is the pointer. And now go ahead and reverse this, palm down. Add just a little bit of help here. We're going to stretch through the wrist. And then staying with this same side and arm, let's go into the tricep. We'll take the arm up, pat yourself on the back, and adding a little extra here, we're trying to find length through the belly of the muscle there, the tricep. Let's hold here, find a nice deep breath. Removing this hand and unfolding here. Checking that our shoulders are staying down away from our ears. It's easy to build this tension, so relax. And then let's take and work the same stretches to the other side. So I've got full flexion here, coming through the bicep and the wrist, giving a little focus to the fingers, a little focus to the pinky first. And the two middle fingers. Move on to the pointer. Reverse, palm is down, and get full action through that wrist the other way. Now we'll let that arm travel up with a pat on the back. A little extra for the tricep. Inhale. Exhale. Let that arm come away and unfold. And then to finish everything off, like I mentioned, even with stretch classes, we can build that tension. We're going to release that by dropping one ear to the shoulder, offering a little weight, just gentle weight. Opposite hand is going to reach to the floor, trying to get as much length through the side of the neck. What are the lengths of your inhale and exhale now? Has your count expanded? Inhale. Exhale, release the hand. Let the head float back to center. Pause here, and then we'll tip to the other side. Gentle added weight. It's just a little extra. Reaching, stretching through the neck. One more deep breath in. And exhale. Inhale again. Exhale and remove the weight. Let the head float. Taking 2 thumbs to the back side of the skull and gently tip the head forward. The crown of your head is pointed toward me. Take those thumbs and massage at the base of the skull. Let the shoulder blades slide down toward your back pockets. And slowly raise the chin. And let the arms come back to your side. Ah. And that's it. We've got 1 breath in to finish it off. Inhale. Exhale. Check off your stretch. Good work. Hope you like that one.